Hi you guys, it's Julia Creations and I'm back with another YouTube video. Welcome in YT family. I hope you guys are having a great first week of February. I'm back with another video and today we're going to be talking about things to do to update your expense tracker. If you're new here, welcome to my channel. My name is Julia Creations. I am a financial coach that's going to teach you how to get better at managing your finances, paying off your debt, vice versa. This video, I didn't do a setting up my budget for the month video on YouTube, but we're going to be doing my expense tracker and setting that up and seeing how I did for the first week of February. So the first thing we're going to start with is our calendar. What is everything we have in our calendar for the month? As you can see, I have all my bills in here, all my credit cards, all of that stuff. It has a little note on the side that tells you what everything is that comes out here or what you should put in your calendar. So because I am self-employed, my income always fluctuates, but what I like to do is set up two accounts at the beginning of the month, which is my account where I put all my money for my bills and my account for all my variables. So for my bill account, I already pay myself in advance to basically cover my bills for the month that's at hand. So this $21.50 has already been deposited into my checkings account for my bills, so they just come out on auto pay. Now as my variables, I like to set up an account that's just for my variable spending. So I'm going to put everything that I plan to spend on here for my variables. So $872 is in the variable account. Now how I like to do it is I like to use my credit card for my variable expenses. So everything I spend daily will be used on my credit card and paid back with the money in my variable account. So I had a question on someone asked, why don't I cash stuff? Personally, I just don't like dealing with cash. I like to get points back and use my credit card. I am a 100% credit card user. Like, I don't even touch my debit card. So if I don't touch my debit card, I'm definitely not going to want to touch cash. So that's the process I like to do. And this is how I can actually see what's coming out every single week. So anything that I am paid for the week, I put that in my savings for the next month. So it's already covering my bills for the next month and I'm already good to go there. That way I'm not relying on my weekly income to cover my bills. So all my self-employed people or people whose income fluctuates, that's something to keep in mind. So we already know that this is the week of January 26th to February 2nd. So we're looking at everything from the 26th until the 2nd. And then we're also going to go to the 8th because today is the 8th. So we're also going to do the 2nd to the 8th here. Just because the week of falls a little different moving forward. So we're going to go ahead and see what bills we paid and cross those off. So the first thing I like to do is cross off the bills that I paid. So I already paid my rent for this week of. So I'm going to cross off my rent. I pay my gym membership, my electric bill, and then my gym membership. So those are the bills that I paid off for this week of. Now we're going to go to the next page, which is going to be our expense tracker. This is the page we're going to update. So what you're going to go ahead and do is you're going to go ahead and grab your bank statements from the last week and we're going to pull that. So you're going to pull everything that you've spent for the last week of. Alright, so what we're going to do is pull our bank statements from every single transaction. So I always get the question, do you have to put your bills in the week of section or your expense tracker? It's totally up to you. I like to have my bills in my expense tracker, so when we do our reality checking page, it's easier for me to just grab my bills and make sure I'm not missing anything. So the first thing we're going to do is start with the first date of the month. So we know on the 1st we have our rent coming out, which is going to be $16.40. So we're going to put the amount that is. And then we're going to break our expenses down to 3 different categories. So we have planned, unplanned, and we have impulsive. I kind of want to use a blue color, but blue highlighter. Impulsive. All right. So every category should have a outcome. So the outcome is going to be whether it's planned, impulsive, or whatever it is. So our rent would technically be planned. Why would our rent be planned? Because it's in our budget. We plan to spend that much on rent. So what you can go back and do, go to your calendar, and we're basically looking at everything that fell this week. So everything from this Monday so we're doing a weekly budget. It's going to be our Monday to Sunday. So January 26th basically the 1st. Our week of is going to be a little bit funny since the week of starts on a Saturday. All right, so we paid our rent this week, and we also paid our electric for $164. All right, and this should also match your bills that you had here, your rent and your electric. I'm not going to highlight those because I don't want to highlight those. So our rent and our electric here. So our expense tracker, we put that here. We're also going to put our, do we have anything that came out on the 1st? So before we write our electric, we did have on the 1st, we did also have $15 that we spent on groceries, just some small little groceries that I needed. Our grocery budget that we have for the month, let's go ahead and look at our budget for the month. For groceries, our budget is $160. For the week, we set $100 up for groceries, which we didn't wind up spending that whole week of. So we got groceries, that will still be in our budget. We spent $15 out of the $160 that we have for the month for groceries. All right, so now we're gonna go to the next thing here, which is the second. The second, I had $164 come out for my electric bill. As you can see, that was a part of our weekly budget and our monthly budget and in our calendar. So that's going to be planned. All right. And then on the 3rd, we had our gym membership come out for $32. This would be gym. And this technically would be our first week of. This will be week 1 because it falls in the first week of like the end of January going into February. It fell in this week, so we're going to put that as week 1. The new week will be this week. So I'm going to go ahead and put that this was week 1. All right, and that you guys are thinking, how is that week 1? So think about all the bills that we had for that first week of the month. All right, because we do Mondays to Sundays, so this week would have been done. We had our rent, our electric. We didn't get gas on that week of the 26th to the 26th to the 2nd. We didn't get gas, and we only spent $15 on groceries. I didn't do eating out from this part, and then my spending will get moved down to the next week because I didn't spend money until the 5th of the month, so it will fall on the next week of. Hopefully this makes sense, you guys. So that's our first week. Now we're on to our second week, which is basically the week of the 3rd to the 9th. So we had our gym membership, which is planned. And then we have our eating out I did for the week of. For the 5th, I had $13 go to eating out, which will be planned. We have a budget for eating out for the month, and a spending budget for the week is $27 per week. And then we have our gas coming out for $25. We spent $25 on gas, which is going to be planned. We didn't have our gas in this week, but we moved it from the previous week. I had gas in my budget for the previous week for $20. We wind up using it this week. Okay. So yeah, gas there for $20. And then we have personal care or self-care, because I didn't have a personal care budget, so we're just going to put this in a self-care budget. We spent about $35 on self-care, which is still planned. It's still in our self-care budget for the month, even though we didn't have anything for that week. All right. And then on the 6th, I also did go to HEB and get some groceries, which were $30. I got a good amount of groceries, you guys. I think HEB is going to be my new grocery store. Spent $30 on groceries. Literally, I got so much protein for $30, you guys. I have to do a haul. Or maybe I'll put it on the screen. All right, so that's what we have for our groceries for the week. And then we also did some spending. $47 for spending. which is in our spending budget of $50 weekly, so that will be planned. And then we'll also have today, which is the 8th. I also did get some Chipotle today, which was 14 bucks. So eating out would have been 14 bucks for the week, and this would have been planned. I don't plan on spending any money tomorrow's Sunday, but if anything does come up, I'll add it on here. So we're gonna go ahead and do the week of, this will be our second week of the month, week 2. So for you guys, I like to section off your expenses and see how much you spend each week to compare it to your weekly budget. You totally can. Here's that, sectioned off. Now I can add up and see if my numbers match what I had for each week. You can see here each week I say how much I'm supposed to spend. I did go a little bit over this week because we had spending and personal care that wasn't added on here. As long as it still matches my monthly budget, I know I'm doing good to go. So we're gonna go ahead and section off our second week of. I'm gonna go ahead and take my highlighter, and basically we're covering everything for this week until the 9th. Credit card minimum, I don't have a credit card minimum. I pay my credit card off in full. And there is our second week of the month. You see how we sectioned it off to weeks, you guys? So this was the first week of the month, the second week of the month, and that is it broken down in the expense tracker, so I can see exactly how much I spent per week. If you want to go ahead and add it up to check it, you can as well. So let's go ahead and see how much we spent for week 2. So week 2, we spent $32 for gym, $13 for eating out, gas for $25, self-care for $35, groceries for $30, spending for $47, and then eating out for $14. So as you can see, I spent $196 this week. This week we're supposed to spend $109. So why do we have an extra money there? We have to pull money from the places we didn't spend. So we didn't do our spending. We didn't do the spending budget, so that I could go back to this week. We can use that money to cover the self-care. And then we also didn't do our full grocery shopping this week. We moved some of the groceries down to this week. So we can just adjust that and see how much we spent. And I think we also did gas the next week as well, didn't we? Yeah, gas came out the next week. So the first week was a little smaller. All of this stuff got moved to this week basically. So yeah, that's as easy as it is to update your expense tracker and see how much you spent, you guys, for your weeks of the month. And of course you could section this off differently, adjust your budget as you would like to, and section things off and find what works for you. So I like to do it this way. I like to sit down and update my expense tracker, break it down in weeks, or just add up how much I'm spending in each category to make sure it's matching my monthly. So if you want to go through and proof check your budget, so for groceries I'm supposed to spend $160. I can already add up from groceries. I spent $45 for the month for groceries already. For gas, my gas budget is $70. I've only spent $25 for gas, so I can see I still have money left over. Eating out, my eating out is $110 for the month, so I can go ahead and do a temperature check. Eating out, we've spent about $27 for the month. And make sure you are pulling your credit cards and your debit cards, you guys. You don't want to miss any transaction. Everything needs to go on there. Self-care, we didn't really spend anything for self-care. We spent $35, so 105 minus 35, we still have $70 left from self-care. I'm probably gonna have to adjust my spending budget for self-care because I need my nails done, or cut down my eating out to make sure I'm staying on track with that number so nothing becomes impulsive, because I do have a nail appointment coming up. I plan to spend $80 for my nails, so we might have to adjust some things there or cut from somewhere else. So that's how we can temperature check our budget. This is how you should be expense tracking. So if you're one of the type of people that say, I never know where my money is going, you need to have a expense tracking routine. The same way you set up your paycheck routine is the same way you need to have a expense tracking routine to see where your money is going. All right. And that is it, you guys. This budget planner will be available on Valentine's Day at 11 a.m. So if you want to get this yellow planner, make sure you guys are subscribed to the email list to juliacreations.com so you can grab yours. I will see you guys on the next video. Thank you again for watching. I hope this video was helpful for how to expense track. Hope you have a great weekend, you guys. Bye, my loves.